Since you're attacking us, can you give us a question? No, Mr. President-elect.
Go ahead.
Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give
is
us a
terrible.
chance
Let's
to
go.
ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state
She's asking
categorically,
a question.
Mr.
Don't be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No,
give
I'm
us
not
a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not
Go ahead.
appropriate.
Thanks for joining me again today. Today we are going to talk about fake news and how to spot it. Right up front, I want to give you a list of the sources that I used to build this seminar. I tried to make sure that I got a wide range of sources to create the content for this seminar. What is fake news? We'll talk about the definition of fake news, and we'll also talk about some terms that you should be aware of, some that you already know, others you may have never heard before. I'll also talk about the rise of deep fakes, how to recognize fake news. I'll also share with you some fact-checking resources that you can use to make sure that you are getting accurate news and information. We'll also talk about our responsibility, yours and mine, when it comes to sharing news, sharing information with friends, family, whether it's email or whether it's social media. During a press conference alongside the Finnish president, President Trump took credit for inventing the term fake news. I call the fake news now corrupt news because fake news isn't tough enough. And I'm the one that came up with the term. I'm very proud of it, but I think I'm going to switch to corrupt news. This is the person that created the term fake news. Craig Silverman is the editor of BuzzFeed News. He used and popularized the term fake news in 2014. 3 years prior to the claim of President Trump. Side by side here, you see the 2017 presidential inauguration photograph and the 2009 presidential inauguration photograph of the crowd size that attended both inaugurations.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period.
How do I know? Because I was there. I actually attended the event. I was on the same platform that President Trump was on. And when you look out on the crowd, you could definitely see that the crowd was not as big as it was in 2009. I thought it would be a good idea to define some key words as we move forward. So I got these from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Fact. Something that has actual existence, an actual occurrence. A piece of information presented as having objective reality. The quality of being actual. Opinion. A view, judgment, or appraisal formed in the mind about a particular matter. Belief stronger than impression and less strong than positive knowledge. I think it's very important that we separate fact from opinion.
Understanding the difference between a fact and an opinion isn't difficult. What matters is being able to apply that knowledge responsibly. When someone presents information in the form of a fact, like the blue whale is the largest animal on Earth, they are stating something that can be proven with evidence. That's different from an opinion, like blue whales are the most beautiful whales. Here, they are sharing a personal belief that can't be proven. Think about it this way. The factual statement here is about size, which can be measured and agreed upon. The opinion is about beauty, which cannot be measured and is up to the individual. Being able to tell the difference can help you be more influential and trustworthy. Here's what I mean. Imagine you're a student who must complete a paper about the science of whales. In researching the subject, you find a mix of facts and opinions. For example, in a magazine article, a scientist says, "Whale research needs more funding," and it seems relevant. But then you notice that it's based on a personal belief, which means it's an opinion. Then, on a trustworthy website, you find the statement, "Funding for blue whale research increased by 10% last year." This is a statement of fact that can give your paper more integrity. It's important to remember that a statement of fact can still be true or false. The person who made the statement may be confused or misleading. That's why it's a good idea to verify facts using multiple credible sources. In another example, you're watching a TV show with two guests who disagree. During the debate, they make a number of statements that seem credible. One of the guests mainly shares opinions like, "I think Joe is the best player." The other guest chooses to share factual statements like, "Mike is currently ranked number 1 in the world." By thinking through the difference between fact and opinion, you can see which guest may be presenting a stronger argument. Or imagine a journalist who is working on a big news story. She interviews a number of people and over time documents both facts and opinions from her sources. While her article might contain quotes that relate opinions, the accuracy and integrity of her article depends on documenting the facts of the situation. To be sure, she researches the factual statements to make sure they are true. As you can see, knowing the difference between facts and opinions is only part of the challenge. The real task is analyzing communication and understanding what represents information that can be trusted and why.
Lie. To make an untrue statement with intent to deceive. To create a false or misleading impression. Fake. Not true, real, or genuine. One that is not what it purports to be, such as a worthless imitation passed off as genuine. News. And this is where things can get a little tricky, because what's news to you and what's news to me might be different. But what is news? A report of recent events, previously unknown information, something having a specified influence or effect. Material reported in a newspaper or news periodical or on a newscast. I think we can all agree that Elvis's 7 secret love children and Hillary Clinton adopts an alien baby or President George Bush did cocaine in the White House is absurd and not real. We know that that is fake news. But today, it's harder to differentiate between what's real and what's fake. And a lot of that has to do with the way these articles are written, the sources from where they come from, and how they are shared. Fake news often has the aim of damaging the reputation of a person or entity or making money through advertising revenue. Next is an excellent video from TED, How False News Can Spread.
There's a quote usually attributed to the writer Mark Twain that goes, "A lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is putting on its shoes." Funny thing about that, there's reason to doubt that Mark Twain ever said this at all, thus, ironically, proving the point. And today, the quote, whoever said it, is truer than ever before. In previous decades, most media with global reach consisted of several major newspapers and networks which had the resources to gather information directly. Outlets like Reuters and the Associated Press that aggregate or re-report stories were relatively rare compared to today. The speed with which information spreads now has created the ideal conditions for a phenomenon known as circular reporting. This is when publication A publishes misinformation, publication B reprints it, and publication A then cites B as the source for the information. It's also considered a form of circular reporting when multiple publications report on the same initial piece of false information, which then appears to another author as having been verified by multiple sources. For instance, the 1998 publication of a single pseudoscientific paper arguing that routine vaccination of children causes autism inspired an entire anti-vaccination movement, despite the fact that the original paper has repeatedly been discredited by the scientific community. Deliberately unvaccinated children are now contracting contagious diseases that had been virtually eradicated in the United States, with some infections proving fatal. In a slightly less dire example, satirical articles that are formatted to resemble real ones can also be picked up by outlets not in on the joke. For example, a joke article in the reputable British Medical Journal entitled "Energy Expenditure in Adolescents Playing New Generation Computer Games" has been referenced in serious science publications over 400 times. User-generated content such as wikis are also a common contributor to circular reporting. As more writers come to rely on such pages for quick information, an unverified fact in a wiki page can make its way into a published article that may later be added as a citation for the very same wiki information, making it much harder to debunk. Recent advances in communication technology have had immeasurable benefits in breaking down the barriers between information and people. But our desire for quick answers may overpower the desire to be certain of their validity. And when this bias can be multiplied by billions of people around the world nearly instantaneously, more caution is in order. Avoiding sensationalist media, searching for criticisms of suspicious information, and tracing the original source of a report can help slow down a lie, giving the truth more time to put on its shoes.